Well, hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Daily Life. I'm your host, star of Daily Life, Tom Johnson. I want to say from the outset that I really hope you enjoyed this week's episodes on Daily Life because, unlike most weeks, I do not really feel like taping. I'm very tired. As many of you people know, the clocks changed over the weekend. We sprung forward. In November, we will fall back, but yesterday we sprung forward. It's Monday, March 10th, and yesterday, at 2 o'clock in the morning, we skipped over that hour. Therefore, everybody lost an hour of sleep, including myself, and I do not take time changes well. They tend to screw me up for about a week afterwards. So anyway, there you have it. But the fact that we did spring forward is a sure sign of spring, and that is what I want to talk to you about today on Daily Life. You know, this has been one of the coldest winters ever in the history of North America. By the way, I hope you like it. This is my Gary Player look today, dressed in head to toe black. If I stood up, you would notice that my pants are also black. Gary Player, for those of you who don't know, is a South African golfer who dressed in head to toe black all the time. And I decided I didn't actually decide, it's just a happy coincidence. Golf courses will open in the spring, by the way, and that's my segue into spring. So when the clocks move ahead, we have daylight now until around 7 o'clock, which is much later than at any time since about Thanksgiving, a little earlier than that, maybe late September, early October. And spring is a wonderful time. Let me tell you, I love spring for a lot of reasons. The first of which is what? The first of which is the daylight. You know, in the wintertime, it's depressing because the sun doesn't rise until 7:30 or 8 in the morning. And it sets at 3:30 or 4 at night. Yeah, 3:30 is a little early. It sets at around 4:30. That is a lot of darkness. You're in perpetual darkness all the time. If you live up, in the North Pole in Alaska or in the Northwest Territories up there, you basically do live in perpetual darkness. I was reading a comment on the Weather Network, the Weather Channel website. Somebody who lives in northern Alberta, which if you live in the U.S. and you're not familiar with Canadian geography, it's way the hell up there. Like, it is so far north. You cannot even believe it. And up there, in the summertime, the sun rises at 4:30 in the morning. It does not set until 11:30 at night. Conversely, in the winter, the sun doesn't rise until like 10 in the morning and it sets at like 3 in the afternoon. But, so you kind of get the thing there. Now, another reason why I love spring, the daylight's one thing. The second reason why I love spring, the warmth. As I said, this has been the coldest winter around. Coldest winter certainly since I've been alive. Or one of the coldest anyway. And it's finally starting to warm up out there. Let me just do a little quick check of things. Oops. It's 32 degrees right now, or 0 degrees. I'm listing 32 because I have more viewers in the U.S. I used to have more viewers in Canada, but apparently my friends up here got bored of me, so I thank you, American viewers, for keeping me on the air for all these months. Anyway, it's 32 degrees right now, or 0 degrees, and the forecast high is 32. So that's good. Going down to 26, or about -4 tonight. Tomorrow, we got a forecast high of 35 degrees, or about +2 in Canada. Low of 24, or about -6. Then on Wednesday, a high of 25. That's a little colder than it has been the past little while. 25, which is about -5 in Canada. And we're going to go down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about, I think, minus 18. Then on Thursday, it is going to get a little colder. Thursday is the coldest day of the week at 13 degrees, or about minus 10, and a low of minus 5, which is about minus 21. Then it warms up to Friday, 28 degrees, about minus 2, with a low of 29, or about minus 1. So there you are. That also tested my mental conversion temperature skills. Now, on the road to summer, we pass through spring. Now, another thing that I love about spring on the way to summer is that the thought of outdoor swimming starts to permeate in the minds of people who live in the north. That could be a problem this year. I don't know if you've heard about it, but I've heard about it. The Great Lakes are almost completely covered with ice. I think at their peak they were about 92% covered with ice, which is almost a record. The record is 94% in 1979. So there's a lot of ice that has to melt, and that water is going to be cold. So it could be a cooler summer because of the cold water, and if you live I live in the Great Lakes region. If you live in the Great Lakes region, you get lake effect stuff, and it'll be colder because of the cold water. When we have a nice hot summer day, of course, it'll be nice to go into the cold water, so that's a bonus. 92% is far above where we have been in the last little while in terms of Great Lakes ice coverage, by the way, as we begin spring and it starts melting. Last year it was 38%. That's a pretty big difference. And the lowest on record was 9.5%. I think that was in 2002. So that was a warm winter, no doubt about it. Right. Then, another thing that I love about spring is that the snow will melt, clean away, so that there's still snow outside where I live. It's melting. Thank goodness it's melting, because there's been piles of it where I am. And the snow's going to melt. The grass, which has been dormant and disgusting and brown, first of all, the mud will dry up. Then the grass will start to grow and green, and the trees, the leaves will come back on the trees. Now, of course, it's March 10th, and we may be a month or more away from all that happening. But it will happen. It will happen. So daylight, warmth, whatever else I was talking about. These are all things that are swimming. It's three or four things that I've been talking about that I love about spring. I just love spring. It's my favorite season. It's the least depressing season because we are soon going to be, daylight. I'm stuck on daylight because I've been thinking about the time change a lot. It seems dumb. A lot of people think it's dumb, but I really agree with it. It gives you light when you need it, and in the winter it gives you light when you need it. You need light in the morning in the winter, and you need light in the afternoon in the summer, and that's what time change does. But if you think about the four seasons, and the 4 periods of daylight, you have the least depressing. I'll do the one we're in right now, which is a minority of the day is spent in darkness, but you're increasing. When you get past the vernal equinox on March 21st, you'll be in a majority of the daylight. A majority of the day will be spent in daylight, and it will still be increasing. And that's the best part. That lasts till June 21st. Then we start declining, but you still have a majority of your day spent in sunshine. And the worst part of the year is from September 21st to December 21st. And that's when you have a minority of the day spent in darkness and you're still declining. So we're getting into that phase where the best phase is between March and June. Everybody loves it. It's a great time. Plus, and this may seem immoral, but, it goes both ways, men and women. In summer, people wear less clothing. Talking men and women wear less clothing in the summer, and it's eye candy for those people like me who happen to be single. So, if you're a single man, if you're a single woman out there, you got that looking forward to. You have that coming at you to look forward to. I'm having trouble speaking because I'm tired. That wraps it up for this show. A bunch of relationshipy things for the rest of the week. I like talking about relationships. It's something I like talking about. So tomorrow, work relationships at work. See you then.